Getting by the knees. All right. We want to welcome you to another week of the Politically Correcting Podcast. I appreciate you coming out here and spending your Wednesday evening with yours truly. This week, I am all alone. We're going back to the OG way of Politically Correcting Podcast. Lavelle had something he had to be at. Dan had something he had to be at. So it is one Mike, one man, and Austin on the ones and twos as always.
Hello.
Good job.
Yeah. If I can figure out how my mic works, that's my first time.
It's okay. It's okay. All right. So this means we may not get in any trouble tonight because we've never had an issue when it was me, myself, and I.
That's true.
Hey, holler.
That's true.
But
I was thinking about saying some dirty shit, but
make sure you direct it at me.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I will take it non-offensively.
Yeah, your sparkly shirt, super hot.
Is it sparkly?
Is it?
It is not sparkly.
Oh no. What? Oh, it's just little white dots.
Sparkly.
Sorry, I thought those were sparkles.
Anyways, let's get
It's
the party
purple.
started. It's not purple either.
Oh, that is purple. It's like a lavender.
That's not lavender. I'll tell you that. That's for sure. I know
No.
lavender. I wear lavender.
I maybe you know what? I think that's called dusk.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Well, let's get the party started where we always share a drink with friends while having open dialogue and being able to still walk away, still being friends. Salud.
Cheers.
All right. The verse of the week, actually, we're going to say the topic of the week is in 1 Corinthians 12. For the most part, starts in verse 12 as well. It talks about unity, yet diversity in the body. I'm not going to go through the Bible verse. You go check it out because you should be reading your Bible. But what I do want to talk about is how each body part, hands, eyes, ears, nose, mouth, have different functions, much like the body of city council, much like the body of the family. Everyone has different functions, yet you are one body. We need to understand that it is okay to be different. It is okay to not be the same and everyone in one group being all the same and everyone having the same function or everyone doing the same things or thinking the same way. A lot of people like to stick people into groups and then say everyone should be acting this specific way, whether it's politically, ethnically, sexually, whatever it may be. I don't believe in that. I don't subscribe to that. And I really, really want you to think otherwise. And it's the same thing with church as well. The body of Christ. Everyone has a different thing to do for God. And a lot of times we judge one another or we judge someone on their actions when we know for a fact we shouldn't be judging other people. So go read 1 Corinthians 12. It talks about unity, yet diversity in the body, and really understand that everyone's here for a different reason. And we are all just lumps of clay. And our potter, who is our Father in heaven, has created clay for good and clay for bad. And we must understand that and decide for ourselves, what do we want to do? Where's our function in the total body, whether it's under Christ or at our job or in our home? What body part do you want to function as? Most people will call me the backside, but we're going to skip past that. That is not my body part. Daily COVID update. We're going to jump right into that, please. With the uptick of COVID in New York. This is not something that we should not be excited about. But COVID is still a topic of conversation. And they say that cases are up 5% in New York. It says BA.5 subvariant outbreaks. Do you see when you go out in public, do you think people are taking this seriously anymore?
No, I haven't heard about COVID in ages. The only place I hear about it is here,
Right. And we rank 20th among all the states, 20th in the cases of COVID. And they're not even trying to count deaths anymore. They're just going with cases, as we've seen for the past, year and a half. That's our daily COVID update, just specifically for that. It is up in New York. So keep an eye on what may be coming up. If we see an uptick of 5% and it's summertime, We haven't even hit fall. We haven't even hit winter yet. Keep an eye on that. You will probably see a lot of people maybe dressing up like this person that's in the picture there. You see when you go out. I see when I go out nowadays, there's not very many people who are wearing masks anymore or social distancing anymore or bragging about their vaccine card and showing it around to everybody. I don't see it anymore. And that's fantastic to me to see that people are just living life unafraid. And that's what I love to see. And that is the godly way to live life. It's to live unafraid of what they want you to be afraid of. Let's just say it that way. But I'm not a doctor. Consult your doctor. We're going to jump into what has come from the COVID updates, or I'm sorry, the COVID outbreak in the past 2 years. It's our utility debt. Take a look at this. It is time for New Yorkers to pay off $2.3 billion in utility debt. Utility debt. These are utility costs that during the COVID pandemic, the state said, you know what? People shouldn't have to pay this. We're going to have to just push it off to the end, which they did. They did not erase the debt, though. They did not state that, oh, okay, your monthly plan that you were on and you couldn't pay your monthly bill. All right, cool. You know, we'll take care of it for now. There's no such thing as a free lunch. No such thing as a free lunch. This debt is coming up due. It says unpaid gas and electric bills piled up relentlessly in New York. Wonder why? During the COVID-19 pandemic, nearly one household in every 6 fell behind, as did thousands of small businesses. New York blocked service terminations. That's what they did. They stopped terminations, just like they stopped the evictions that were happening. They're telling people that they didn't have to pay rent, even though people were still working. And they're telling them, you don't have to pay rent. It's okay. But then if you were a homeowner, they didn't block your the city coming in and taking you for not paying your taxes or for not paying your water bill with the county. They're not going to stop that. Trust me, you're not getting a bailout. But guess who is getting a bailout? The utility company. Last month, the PSC approved a plan to fully pay off $587 million in overdue bills owed by low-income customers who are enrolled in utility bill discount programs. They already have a utility discount program for low-income people. A lot of these low-income people are just, a lot of them don't even pay very much, and I promise you, I know from real life examples. You go in certain houses during the wintertime, and it is hot. I'm talking about hot. And I sit there saying, man, I wish I could have my heat on this high. How high? What's your temperature that you put your heat on at your house during the wintertime, Austin?
I just have like a space heater.
It's a space heater?
Yeah. I live in a tiny little place.
Oh, fantastic.
I don't get to set a temperature and a thermostat.
Oh, man.
Fancy lads.
I got the Nest, so it automatically sets it for me. But,
wow.
But still, fancy. Everyone saw that their bills like pretty much doubled. My RG&E bill doubled. What did yours do? Did yours double, triple? What do you set your temperature at? Because I don't set it very high. And the entire pandemic, I paid my bills. The entire pandemic, I paid my mortgage. I paid my taxes, everything. Because I knew at some point that the bill would come due.
It always does.
Nothing's for free, folks. I promise you, there is nothing in this world that is free. No matter what they say, there is no such thing as a free lunch. No such thing. And where do you think this $587 million in overdue bills that New York State is going to pay? Where do you think that's going to come from?
Oh, I'm sure, they'll just print it, just make more. That's fine.
That is likely what is going to happen, which means, in essence, your taxes are going up in New York State, which we already have the highest taxes in the entire country.
Hell yeah, we're number one.
Oh my God, dude. It's tough. And my cousin here says, BS, us that work our butts off don't get a discount. You're right. I didn't get no discount. What is the comment above that? It's like student loans. They'll forgive them. Yeah, right, Gino. We'll see. That's what Bernie ran on, right? That's what the Democratic Socialists ran on. We'll see. Biden has yet to. They always come up with these news articles that say Biden is forgiving these many, much in student loan debt.
Oh yeah, giving millions in student loans.
He didn't do anything different. Read the actual article. If you
every time
you go into the article, it's like, oh, these people qualified because they spent 10 years, in a nonprofit. Biden didn't do that.
Right. Yeah. They worked for the government.
That's the law.
5 years.
That's literally the law. Biden didn't do it. Stop looking at headlines, folks.
Good job,
Please.
Biden.
Yeah, amen to that. Who read that comment? Amen to that. Melissa, that's right. Amen to anything I say. I'm gonna go with. So there's no such thing as a free lunch there. So do not think for a minute that everything that happened during this COVID shutdowns and business shutdowns and still allowing Walmart and Home Depot and Amazon to continue working and liquor stores. Remember that liquor stores were open, but gyms weren't.
Super essential.
Bro, I am not forgetting it.
Never
I refuse to forget. I'm not letting them forget this. And I can't wait till I run for re-election because I want to make sure people don't forget that there was only one person in the entire city of Rochester that was saying any of this. And we're now seeing it come to fruition. I'm going to get off my high horse there and allow you to fester in that right there. Bring up monkeypox in New York, please. We know this is going to be the next thing. We know monkeypox is going to be the next thing. Monkeypox vaccine rollout is marred by glitches in New York. The city has struggled to respond to a growing monkeypox outbreak, the first major public health crisis since the COVID pandemic began. Ay, dude. I'm going to get into it in a second on what really monkeypox is. But read more into this article. Underneath that picture, officials said New York City is the epicenter of the nation's monkeypox outbreak and announced the opening of a vaccine clinic in Harlem and the reopening of another in Chelsea. If you know anything about Chelsea, you know anything about Chelsea?
No.
Village of Chelsea, whatever that suburb area, whatever it is, a very high LGBTQ area, which leads us to right there in the article as well. New York health officials said people who fall into one of the several categories are eligible for the vaccine. Eligible for the vaccine. Remember this, eligible. And then we're going to talk about the vaccine. And we're going to talk about what monkeypox is. All right. We're going to get into this now. The reason why, listen, the reason why is because we saw what happened with COVID. They changed the science as they learned, right? As time was going on, they kept changing the science. So we're going to go through everything right now so that there is no question about how to deal with monkeypox. From science. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. Talk to your scientists. I'm going to go through what scientists say, though, in the articles. All right. You fall into this category. You are eligible for a monkeypox vaccine. Individuals with exposure to monkeypox within the past 14 days. Fantastic. All right. But if you've been exposed to it, you either got it or didn't, right? I would think. I would think at that point you probably got it.
If it was within 14 days, then I don't think a vaccine's going to
do anything else.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, it goes into deeper details. Those at higher risk of a recent exposure to monkeypox, including, and we talked about this 2 weeks ago before we did our in-person version last week, members of the gay, bisexual, transgender, and listen to this, other communities of men who have sex with men.
Okay.
Before I continue on with that paragraph, I just need somebody to explain to me. They already went through the members of the gay, bisexual, and transgender communities. Please, someone explain the other communities of men who have sex with men. Is there another category that I'm missing? I like to think I'm pretty educated on this stuff.
Yeah. No, the other communities of men who have sex with men.
Are you aware of another community?
I'm trying. I guess. No, boy, I really thought that covered all the bases. The gay and bi.
I mean, I know they threw Q into LGBTQ, which is queer.
Right.
Is that?
I guess pansexual, maybe. Omnisexual.
I guess.
Perhaps.
I'm gonna go with maybe if you have sex with other men, just keep it as that. You don't even have to get into other categories. Like you don't have to say gay, bisexual, transgender, or anything.
Yeah, you don't need labels.
How about men who have sex with men?
There you go.
And who have engaged in intimate or skin-to-skin contact. Again, anyone out there who is in this other community of men who have sex with men, I'm not disparaging you. Please educate me. I want to know what that means. Not in that way. I just want to know what it means. So I'm educated on it.
So you can add it to your Tinder profile.
Add it to my repertoire.
Oh, yeah.
Who have engaged in intimate or skin-to-skin contact with others in the past 14 days in areas where monkeypox is spreading. In areas where monkeypox is spreading. Again, I love reading these types of articles because it brings out so many questions. And this is how I read my Bible, Austin. I know you don't read it as often as I do, but you've read the whole Bible.
I have read the whole Bible.
Right.
Yes.
The way I read my Bible is that when I have questions about it, I stop and I asked the question that I just thought, what do you mean other communities of men who have sex with men? What do you mean by in areas where monkeypox is spreading? Right? That to me, more questions arise. We're going to get into that in a second, though, in the next article.
So how did that tie into the Bible? I'm sorry.
Because that's how I read my Bible. When I read different paragraphs
about the
or
men
words
having sex with men,
I have the concordant version to go see what that word means in other areas of the Bible, so that I can see what the original context of that word was.
Gotcha. I thought you were just reading like the Sodom and Gomorrah story.
Oh no, I've read that many times.
Yeah.
I'm
that's where the men have sex with the men, as far as I remember.
And if you read the story, that's actually not why they destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah.
No, I know.
Okay, I knew you would. I knew you would. The third category: individuals who have had skin-to-skin contact with someone in a social network where monkeypox is spreading, including men who have sex with men, and who meet partners through an online website, digital app, or social event such as a bar or party. Why did you go into that third category? What was it? What was the reason for the third category? Just keep it as, if you had exposure in past 14 days, hey, all right, you can have it if you want. And then men who touch other men. I feel like that's two pretty simple categories.
Why does it matter if you met them through an online
website, digital app, or social event, such as a bar or party?
Is the monkeypox like, did I think it's a computer virus?
Bro.
That's a different type of virus.
Let's go to the other part where it goes into the CDC, the other monkeypox facts there. Yes, with the two men in bed. The contact, to get into details on the CDC website about what contact specifically they're talking about for monkeypox. So let's get into this so that you are well educated on how to avoid getting monkeypox. All right. This is what we're about. We're about educating people on the Politically Correcting Podcast. This contact, per the CDC, again, this contact can happen during intimate contact, including oral, anal, and vaginal sex.
Okay.
That doesn't include any of the things that they just talked about, though, because they're talking about men who are touching other men and having sex with other men. And
I feel like oral and anal play a large part of that.
Yes, but vaginal sex does not.
No, but you said like none of it. 2 out of 3 still do.
Yes, but then they go even deeper. Or touching the genitals.
Yes.
And they go into details of what the genitals are, in case you didn't know. Penis, testicles, labia, and vagina. Or anus, which is, in parentheses, butthole.
Oh, thank you.
Of a person with monkeypox. I anticipate there's a lot of you laughing right now. I feel like there's got to be a lot of you laughing right now. Jennifer says it perfectly. Who believes this shit anymore? The CDC went into details of what genitals were, what an anus was, and then said all of that of a person with monkeypox. Yes, if you see somebody with warts or boils or like rashes all over their genitals, please don't have sex with them.
Yeah. Well, once you're at that point, once
it might be dark.
Once you see it,
right?
Then it feels rude to go, oh no, thank you.
When you put it that way. But then it goes further. All right. This contact can happen during intimate contact, which was that right there. That's intimate contact. The first and foremost intimate contact was that. And then they get into hugging, massage, and kissing.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, that's very PG of them.
Usually I feel like those come first.
Right. You would think.
Maybe I'm just a gentleman.
But then the third one is prolonged face-to-face contact. So rubbing of each other's beards.
Is that different than kissing? What else are you doing face-to-face?
The butterfly kisses.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Eskimo kisses.
Oh, yeah, the little nose rub. Got to do the little nose rub.
Little nose rub with the little Eskimo kiss.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
CDC website, guys. I'm going over what the CDC says. The fourth part, touching fabrics and objects during sex that were used by a person with monkeypox and that have not been disinfected, such as bedding, towels, and sex toys.
I feel like that's a big jump from bedding and towels. to sex
That
toys.
was a big one.
Yeah.
Having multiple or anonymous sex partners may increase your chances for exposure to monkeypox.
I feel like that increases your chance of exposure to many things.
Everything.
Everything. Yeah.
Everything.
I like
everything.
If you're having multiple anonymous sex partners, you should probably also be seeing your doctor regularly.
Yes, absolutely. You should see your doctor regularly and don't lie about how many sex partners you have. All right. It's just not good. Just tell them. Be honest.
Your doctor's heard it all.
They trust me, they've heard it all. We get into the other, this is the genetic engineering and biotechnology news. I read stories from everywhere, folks. I dive deep into these stories so that no one says, oh, you're only looking at one side of the story. No. I went from, what was that, New York Times before, to the CDC website, to now the genetic engineering and biotechnology news. Despite low monkeypox risk, vaccine developers prepare. Low monkeypox risk. Let's get into that. It says cases of monkeypox likely soon to be dubbed MPXV. MPXV, okay? We're going to get into that in a second as well. MPXV by the World Health Organization. Wow. The WHO found themselves in there pretty quickly for a sickness that has been gone for decades, for the most part, eradicated, they said, are proliferating worldwide. But many experts says it seems unlikely to develop into a pandemic like COVID-19, AIDS, or SARS. Unlikely to develop into a pandemic like COVID-19, AIDS, or SARS. If you remember SARS, that wasn't much of anything.
Sure.
So they go from the WHO, the World Health Organization, to the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, says the risk to the U.S. population is low. All right. That's from the WHO and the CDC. Let's get in more into how is MPXV transmitted and treated so that you are well aware of how you should talk to your friends who have MPXV, which is monkeypox, how they're transmitted, which we already discussed, but there's more to it. More to it. All right. You're going to be excited about this because this will lead to something else in the future. I'm going to guess. Oh, sorry.
Allegedly.
I don't have my headphones on, so I can't hear it. It said allegedly, right?
It did.
Thank you.
It worked.
So look at that first article. How is MPXV transmitted? Which goes through pretty much all the same things, but it does go into more of the how, which I did ask 2 weeks ago of how is it being spread amongst the gay LGBT, the entire LGBTQ community? Why is it spread amongst them more than the heterosexual community? So they talk about skin rashes, lesion sores. They talk about bodily fluids. They talk about scabs, talk about ulcers, lesions, or sores in the mouth or in and around the anal. So that makes more sense now. Thank you for explaining that a little bit more. But then it adds a caveat at the bottom. Not caveat, but an extra little thing in case you weren't listening. You can also acquire MPXV. This is not one of the bullet points, though. This is just an added paragraph. All right?
Right.
You can also acquire MPXV when a person with MPXV has respiratory symptoms and sneezes or coughs, and you inhale infected droplets. It's amazing how many articles we went through before, it went from you have to stick your penis into a butt.
Right.
This now says if someone sneezes or coughs and you inhale, then you can catch it.
Okay, but I'm going to say this is a different thing.
Breathe some
because
common sense into this, please.
It doesn't sound like sneezing or coughing is a symptom.
Right. So
you would have to have MPXV and something else that's making you cough and sneeze for that to be like a factor. That's how I'm reading it.
So if you have MPXV and COVID.
Right. Then you could give MPXV and COVID.
And COVID.
Right.
But which one's worse?
Well,
don't answer that.
I feel like you're having a bad day if you got both.
Yes. Oh my God. You're having a bad day.
Yeah.
How is MPXV treated? This is science, guys. And I ended at if you can't see it, this is from endinghiv.org, which is a nonprofit organization that's geared towards ending HIV. If you could guess that from the title there.
Oh.
Yes.
Thank you for explaining.
So we're going to go into how MPXV is treated first, and then we're talking about the vaccine. MPXV is typically a self-limiting disease, meaning that it usually resolves within a few weeks without specific treatment. So by itself.
Okay.
By itself.
So you just gotta kind of like lay off the Tinder for a couple weeks while you.
Yeah, so social apps.
Yeah.
Because you can catch MPXV through social apps.
Right. It's a computer virus.
As most cases of MPXV are mild, medical treatment is not usually required. There are some therapies, though. So there are some therapies we're going to get into right now available to treat MPXV, particularly for people at higher risk, such as those with compromised immune systems. So we've seen for the past couple of years now that those with compromised immune systems have a higher risk of getting certain diseases and needing to be treated against it.
Yeah. Do we still have those left? I thought COVID got them all.
Some people are, even if their immune system is compromised, they're pretty strong.
Okay.
Pretty strong folks.
Nice.
Is there a vaccine? I love this. MPXV is closely related to the virus that causes smallpox. They said it outright. It is closely related to the virus that causes smallpox. This means the vaccines used for smallpox can also offer protection against MPXV. Hear that again. I just want to make sure you know, because we did discuss this in a prior podcast about how much money the U.S. just spent on smallpox vaccinations. Vaccines. This means the vaccines used for smallpox can also offer protection against MPXV. However, these vaccines have serious side effects. Not me saying this, not Dr. Jose Pio saying this. This is endinghiv.org saying this. However, those vaccines have serious side effects, so are therefore not recommended for mass vaccination. Not recommended for mass vaccination. ACON, whoever that is, and other partner organizations are working with Australian health authorities to facilitate speedy access to newer MPXV vaccines that are currently in use overseas, which is being used in America, particularly for higher risk groups in our communities, which we already went through the higher risk groups. You have the information, folks. There's the information. Do with it as you wish. All right. So we went through what is happening with monkeypox, the vaccination rollout, what monkeypox is, what the variation where it came from, smallpox, and how vaccinations could or cannot help it, and if it even is necessary.
So basically, if you don't have an a compromised immune system, you should probably just write it out. That seems to be my take.
Ask your doctor.
Yeah. Yes.
Ask your doctor.
Always ask your doctor.
But don't be afraid. What I'm trying to tell you is don't be afraid. All right. Because we spent the last 2 years of being afraid of something. And yes, it caused a lot of deaths. They stated that my grandma, who was 80 something years old, died from it. And I'm like, she had so many other things going on. I'm going to go ahead and say, sure. We need a Lavelle laugh track. Yeah, for real. Let's go, Brandon. Oh my God, everyone quick back into lockdown. We're not doing it. This is why I wanted to bring this up and why I brought it up weeks ago with how much money we just spent on smallpox vaccination or vaccines. We have smallpox vaccines. We have the MPXV vaccines. They say that it's not really needed because it's easily treated if it even needs to be treated. They said for the vast majority of people, it's not needed. It'll just go out on its own. So don't be afraid. That doesn't mean go out and just have unprotected sex with men. Have protected sex. Do what you want.
Well, there go my weekend plans.
Continuing on. We're going to go into daily absurd. That was not the absurdity part. All right, we're going to go into the pedophile, the local pedophile. We're going to bring it back to local here. We have a pedophile amongst our midst that was just recently caught yet again. This Spencerport man sentenced to 10 years for sex charges. Now, that is not the main headline. Dale Trimmer, 47 years old, Spencerport man attempted to have sex with a minor. He was having conversations online with what he thought was a minor. Come to find out, it wasn't. It was an undercover police officer. He's convicted of disseminating indecent material to minors in 2006. In 2006. 2021, when he was arrested, convicted on charges of disseminating indecent materials in 2006. He was sentenced to serve 6 months in Monroe County Jail, followed by 5 years probation in 2006. Back at it 16 years later. Weird how I guess it didn't go away. I guess he was not, treated.
6 months didn't cure him of his attraction to children.
I guess it did not.
No,
because he wanted to have sex with a 14-year-old girl.
Oh no.
A 14-year-old girl. And in the chats, he told the undercover officer he had abused at least 2 minors in the past. Look, folks. Look. I don't believe that jail fixes very many things. But I do believe that certain people need to be out of our communities. Certain people are disgusting. Certain people are vile. Certain people are just, they don't care about their own life. They don't care about their grandma's life. They don't care about their mom's life. And they certainly won't care about your life. And they've shown it in our city in the past 2 years with everything, every reform that you can think of that keeps people out of jail or gets people out of jail. We need to understand that certain people need to be taken out of our community. Do they need to be locked behind cages? That's for society to decide. I don't think that jail fixes everything, but I do believe that we need to have the mental health treatment in there. This person, people who are pedophiles, I don't think will ever be fixed. And I hate to say that because I'm a believer in God and I believe that people can change. I believe that maybe they can't change, but their circumstances can, which leads them to change, to do things differently. So even if this guy, let's say he were still to say, hey, I like 14-year-old girls. No, get them out of our communities. Get these people out of our community. And what happens is that they go to Monroe County Jail and Monroe County releases them back to the city. This Spencerport man, when he gets out of jail, 100% chance he's going to be let back to the city of Rochester. Guaranteed.
Oh, yeah. In 10 more, 10 years. Oh,
in 10 years, you think he's going to be in jail for 10 years?
No.
He's not going to be in jail for 10 years, folks.
Hopefully he'll be killed by then.
Yeah, people in jail used to have morals when it came to little kids. You didn't do that. You didn't kill kids and you didn't kill women. You used to have morals back then. I wouldn't say it's morals. I wouldn't say morals. I say morals.
Something.
there was a certain level of decency in jail.
Well, I think you're right. I think you can't fix a pedophile.
You can't fix a pedophile.
People are attracted to who they're attracted to, and there's no changing that.
And
so these people who are attracted to children, either I don't know, put them on an island somewhere,
for real,
or maybe fix them like a dog.
Put them on the pedo island and let them live amongst each other.
Yeah.
And then they'll be forced to only be with each other.
Exactly. And they'll all die of monkeypox.
Nice. Good one. Another daily absurdity. This father finds out that his son was given antidepressants by his school without his knowledge. I don't think this is right. This was in Washington, state of Washington. So we know, Seattle is the entire state of Washington is super liberal. The article says dad finds out his son's school was giving him antidepressants for months without ever telling him. How does he find out? He gets a call from the school. The call says your child did not pick up his antidepressants at the end of the school year. I would not be okay with the school giving my child medication at all. I don't even think that the school should give my child aspirin without asking me first. I may be the only one on that one.
No, I think there's something to be said about that.
Because you don't know how much in depth that nurse went into your child's medical history. You don't know if that medical history has been updated because that kid could have went through something last week where it says do not take anything with acetaminophen in it or something.
Right.
And you don't know if they were updated by it. I just don't think that schools should be able to give your children any pills without first contacting you. If my child is in pain and he's screaming out of his lungs, I don't care. You call me first before you give him anything. Simple as that. I don't think I'm the only one on that. Let me see the notes. Let me see the comments. Let's see if anyone else is with me. Jen Ardone, I know she'd be on that one.
No.
I knew she'd be on that one. There is no way that she'd be on that one. She might have been talking about the prior conversation. I don't know. But no, Lavelle's not here tonight. Neither is Dan from the streets. They both had prior engagements. It's all right. Practicing medicine without a license is illegal. I'm pretty sure that school nurses are registered. Are they?
I don't know. And it's like antidepressants have their own like thing.
Antidepressants are a whole different thing too.
Right. Like I don't even think like a psychologist can give you an antidepressant. It has to be a psychiatrist.
Especially after we just went through the past, we're still in it with these kids that are popping pills like freaking crazy. Popping pills.
Oh, absolutely. It's nuts.
Jennifer says, I'm with you. Thank you. I got some people behind me on this one. I don't think it's right. So the problem is these things get done without your understanding because a lot of people are just not involved in local politics. They're not involved with it. What? They don't know who's running for politics. They don't know what their stances are. I have a real problem with that. You got to know who you're voting for. Stop voting down the line because you don't know what these people, even as we've seen, even within the Democratic Party and within the Republican Party, there are variations within that party. See how sexy that was?
Did you hear about that one guy, registered Democrat, but like he says all sorts of crazy stuff on his podcast?
Right. Right.
Yeah, heard about
exactly. There are all over the place, Democrats and Republicans. You don't know if they're far left or far right. Know the people before you vote for them, please. If you don't know who they are, just don't vote on that category. Last time I voted in the primary. I always vote in primary. And I voted, and I only picked 2 people out of everybody that was running because I just didn't like the person that was already in that position. I didn't know the people that were not in that position. And I said, nah, I'm gonna vote for these 2 people. That was it, and I walked out.
Absolutely, yeah, that's smart.
I think I am very smart, aren't I? Thank you. I appreciate you, Austin.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Got you.
Let's talk about someone who's not very smart. All right, I'm sorry. No, I take that away. I take that back. I'm sorry. I'm gonna apologize for that one. Let's talk about a legislation that's not very smart. Let's bring up the Hochul. Our governor, the preeminent female politician in all of the land. Because let's be honest, if you're the governor of New York State, you're the shit. You're the shit.
Yeah.
You're the shit. And she happens to be a female who sees herself as a female.
Yeah. Cis female, I think.
Cis female. Yeah. I'm not using it. She's a shit. All right. If you're the governor of freaking New York State, you're the shit. She hasn't been voted in quite yet. So technically she's not the shit. She just kind of took over. But right now you are the shit. As the shit, I believe that most taxpayers want you to base legislation and base things that are impacting a ton of people in our state or in our country in a way that is based on data or common sense, not solely on emotions. She states, Governor Hochul states, she's trying to pass stricter gun control laws because they somehow want to pass stricter gun control laws because that makes sense. Because it's gun owners who are creating all this mess around here.
Obviously.
I don't need to have numbers, is her quote. The question was, do you have numbers to show that it's the concealed carry permit holders that are committing crimes? That is a legitimate question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Legitimate question. Mm-hmm. Because if we're going to pass more stricter gun control laws, that means that the people who are going through that process are the ones who have to go through these laws, who are impacted by these laws the most, because lawbreakers are not going through these laws. They don't care. So that question is very good, Miss Ann McCloy. Governor Hochul's response, I don't need to have numbers. That was the first sentence that came out of her mouth. I don't need to have a data point to say this. So I don't need to have numbers. I don't need to have a data point to say this. I know that I have a responsibility for this state to have sensible gun safety laws. Now, Those are two separate things.
Right.
Having sensible gun safety laws is absolutely a must.
Right.
It's a must. Yes, we all agree with that, Governor Hochul. We all agree that this state, New York State, and every state in this country needs to have sensible gun safety laws. But we don't base them on randomness or feelings or emotions or compassion, based on numbers and data. Give me the data. Why are you basing your new, more restrictive gun control laws that are going to the only people it's going to impact are those of us who own guns. That's
legally.
Legally own guns.
Right.
Fantastic input there, Austin. I appreciate you.
I got you.
Legally own guns. So when you see those types of things, when you see something that's emotional based, or they're trying to, incur some reaction out of you, and then they also include something that is very much fact, automatically that rules out the fact part. All right. Automatically rule out the fact. You heard the fact part, which was, I have a responsibility for the state to have sensible gun safety laws. Yes, absolutely. But it must be based on data, and it must be based on numbers.
Well, that's how I would define sensible, as being backed up by
I would as
data
well.
and facts.
But I'm not governor.
Right. Well,
but I would as well.
It was her who told me. I remember her talking about following the science a couple months ago.
Should we get into that? Not going to get into that. We will get into the daily hypocrisy, though. Bring up the Hunter Biden hacked cell phone articles here. Look at the two different ways that they show that Hunter Biden's cell phone has been hacked. The one on the left, Secret Service responds to graphic Hunter Biden photos and videos. Basically, they confirmed that they are aware of reports that the contents of his iCloud has been hacked and that it's out there for the world to see. That's news. That's reporting. Vice News, which is the one on the right, they don't care about what was on Hunter Biden's cell phone or iCloud. They don't care about the fact that Secret Service is aware of what's happening. They reported alleged Hunter Biden leak shows iCloud can be iPhone security's weak link. That's what you report? That's what you report?
You know what? I'll play devil's advocate on this.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I will say, so this is Motherboard Tech by Vice. So it appears to be their technology branch.
Okay.
So I see them, allegedly. Thank you. So I could see them taking a technology-based slant to this story. I get, although it seems, you know what, though?
Go ahead.
I think it's weird that Motherboard Tech by Vice has a Hunter Biden story at all in that case. I don't know. But I haven't read the article. I have only seen the headline. So that is all I'm going on.
Well, I'm going to go into, I didn't send it to you because I just Googled it while you were talking there. It's not that I wasn't listening to you, but you're absolutely right that they are biased towards technology. If they're biased towards technology, you can't say alleged Hunter Biden leak because the Secret Service is aware of it.
Right. I guess the leak is not alleged.
Yeah, it's not alleged.
Right. The activities therein could be, I guess.
Vice's actual, not Motherboard Tech by Vice, but Vice's actual, the first thing you see, right? The article headline.
Yeah.
The Hunter Biden 4chan leak has Tucker Carlson and the far right salivating.
Okay, see, now that's some like
Vice,
better thing.
Better.
I told you I was just playing devil's advocate.
No, I appreciate the devil's advocate.
Yeah,
but we gotta see, and I bring this up. I've brought up recently a couple of times where we show how the news is reporting the news. You see it based on, because a lot of people just see the headlines and that's all they read. That's all they read. That's how our society is today. And so when you read certain headlines, read the headline, read the article, see where it evokes emotion. If it evokes emotion, it's not reporting. Simple as that. Simple as that. If it evokes emotion,
Well,
it is not proper reporting.
Was that that Vice article that you just mentioned?
Mhm.
Does it say like op-ed anywhere near the top, or
Here
because
we
that's
go.
that's something you
Jeez
got
Louise.
to
Now we
look
gotta go
for.
further. Nope. Says
no?
by David Gilbert.
Okay.
A 4chan user claims to have hacked and leaked the contents of the president's son's iCloud. They're brushing it under. They brushed it under the table before when Biden was running for. I'm sorry, President Biden was running for. Well, no, when Biden was running for president, because he wasn't president at that time. They brushed it underneath the rug like it was nothing. Like, who cares if Hunter Biden is a crack addict who pays for sex with hookers from Russia, from Ukraine, and from China? Who cares about that? That means nothing to, President Biden. I'm sorry, but it does. I'm sorry, but it does.
I don't know.
I'm not going to accept it.
Look, I will say, like, you can't be held responsibility for the actions of others.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
But if the president came out and said, look, my son has some problems.
Right.
He's got some issues and he needs to resolve them. He's a grown man. The Secret Service has to do what they got to do.
Okay. So if Joe owned it, you'd be more okay with it.
But he doesn't have to. He does not have to say sorry for his son. He doesn't have to say sorry for other people.
Sure.
He has to say, look, this is what it is. Allow him to take accountability and responsibility. Allow the Secret Service to do what they got to do. We have the laptop, supposed laptop. Hey, Secret Service, do this in front of the entire world and show them that I have nothing to hide. That's different than saying 4chan users have far-right conspiracy theorists leaking and salivating out of their mouths. I'm just tired of it, because it's not, they try and pin people like me who are moderate people who see things from a common sense point of view. And you and I, you bring up another side of it. And I'm like, okay, all right, I got you. Yeah, you're right. It is a technology. This is a genuine conversation.
Right.
So people can have genuine conversations.
Yeah, I don't agree with you on everything.
Right.
But I agree with you on a lot.
But we can talk. I'm not going to pin you into some category and then go after that category, which we all know, oh, you're just a far-right freaking conspiracy theorist.
Yeah. You put people in the tribes,
Right. Yeah, we don't attack the tribes anymore. We're done with that. Don't attack the tribes.
Yeah.
Individuals. All right.
Exactly.
That was a daily hypocrisy there. Let's get into one of my favorite segments, the daily conspiracy theory. That was cool. That was a good time. All right. Daily conspiracy theory. This is going to be a long one. It's going to be a drawn out one. Follow me through the rabbit hole. Let's get into it. Inflation soaring. All right. So we know what's happening with prices, right? We all see what's happening with prices. We know it's disgusting out there. It says inflation soars to new highs of 9.1. Now, 9.1. That's the consumer price index.
Right.
That's between June 2021 and June 2022. So for 1 year.
Yep.
9.1. Consumer price index. All right. Do we know what that means? Let's get into a little bit here.
Do it up.
See, consumer price index tracks a hypothetical basket of goods and services that represents typical spending for an American household. I don't think my typical spending for an American household, I don't think, do you spend a lot of money on adobo and pork and chicken thighs and collard greens and...
Not during the summer.
Okay, not during the summer. All right. Well, my household, we eat differently than your household probably, and from your household. We just all eat differently. So it's hypothetical basket of goods and services that represent a typical spending. Cool. Rises in a price level that outpace rises in wages imply that Americans are spending a greater proportion of their income on goods and services. That seems pretty logical. Now, the first part, I'm like, all right, typical American household. I don't really know what that means, because we have a lot of new Americans, a lot of illegal immigrants. We have an entire plethora of all different races and ethnicities and everything. So fine, we'll leave that one alone. The blue highlighted part. Between June 2021 and June 2022, the price of food increased 10.4%. So
what are they averaging it out with to get the 9%?
Right. Hypothetical basket of goods and services that represent typical spending for an American household. If food by itself raised 10.4%,
right,
then how are we going to say that the inflation is only 9.1%? And that's only the first part.
Yeah.
Next part, the price of energy increased 41.6%. Price of energy, 41.6%.
That's insane.
And the price of new vehicles increased 11.4%. I'll give you that not many people are buying new vehicles. I can't actually, you know what? I can't even say that. Not many, not the average American household is buying brand new vehicles.
Right?
Right?
I think they are out buying them to supply, right?
Comparative. Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
because you still got all those ones, waiting for chips or whatever. Have you seen those?
So comparative to supply, as well as some people have made more money in the past 2 years than they've ever made in their life.
Oh, sure.
And they feel as though they should just go buy a car.
Absolutely.
So new vehicles increased 11.4%, energy increased 41%, and then price of food increased 10.4%. So how is it that inflation has only risen 9.1%?
Right. What else is in the basket?
What's lowering that percentage?
Right.
Because I don't know anything that's gone down in price.
What else are people buying that has not gone up 10%?
My insurance goes up every single year.
Sure. I mean,
what else?
Socks,
underwear,
like toiletries. Is that what the?
Well, we know what happened during COVID.
Right.
Toilet paper went up, skyrocketed as well.
Right.
There's nothing that went down less than 10%.
Absolutely.
Not a single thing. So I don't know what I can't take this at face value.
It's like the consumer price guys found the one thing that went up not at all. And like, I'll throw that in the basket. It'll bring down the average.
When was the last time? Do you shop at Wegmans?
No, I Hagedorn's.
Oh yeah, you guys have talked shit about Wegmans before.
I love Wegmans. I don't hate it quite as much as Daniel does.
Daniel is he's a hater of Wegmans. I know that,
but I don't love it.
I've apologized to Danny Wegman more times than I've apologized to City Council. There is nothing. I don't recall the last time I scanned anything at Wegmans, and then when it asked for your what's it called, the card?
Yeah.
Shoppers Club card.
Right.
Put it in. Not a single thing. Not a single thing.
Oh, you gotta look for them. You gotta look for the yellow tags.
Dude, I ain't looking for that.
I am.
I know what I like. I ain't going for all that.
Oh, I'm poor. I buy whatever's on sale.
All right, so we're looking at inflation there. We're looking at the prices of goods increasing. We've seen many times that there's empty, bare shelves. All right, we got that part. Now let's go into Sri Lanka. Now, usually I would not give a flying rat's ass about Sri Lanka. Sorry to anyone that's Sri Lankan. I don't give a crap about you. I'm just saying what happens in Sri Lanka usually does not affect me or impact me in any way, so I don't really think about it. This article states that Sri Lanka's acting leader declares state of emergency as protests swell. All right, so protests are going crazy in Sri Lanka. Insane, because of various reasons that we're going to get into in a second here. They declared a state of emergency, and this is actually after a 2018 article, which is in the next article. Yeah, right there. The World Economic Forum. Have you heard of them?
No. Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, dear Lord. I'm going to guess that my viewers are very intellectual and have seen things about the World Economic Forum. Oh, sure. They've said things like, you will own nothing and you will be happy.
Oh, okay.
World Economic Forum has removed a 2018 article by the Sri Lankan Prime Minister on Tuesday, touting a plan to make the country rich by 2025. In that article, they say exactly how they're going to do it.
Okay.
They took the article down, though. But thankful to those super sleuths online, it doesn't go away.
Yeah, you can't remove anything from the internet.
The vision, it says now in the now deleted article titled, "This is how I'll make my country rich by 2025, Prime Minister laid out his vision to strategically position Sri Lanka as the hub of the Indian Ocean, in part by imposing World Economic Forum sponsored environmental initiatives to address climate change." So what they did, let me give you some insight into what they actually did there. Sri Lanka, and you can look this up yourself. Don't take my word for it. Look it up yourself. And we're not even to the point of the conspiracy theory. What they did was they took out chemicals and made it so you only bought food and fruits and vegetables, same thing. Food that was organic. They said, look, chemicals are bad for the environment. So we got to fix the environment. We got to make sure we protect ourselves against climate control. And so they imposed a shit ton of restrictions. It decreased the amount of supply of food.
Oh, no.
Which raised the prices, which drew inflation because they were not able to export anything. And the amount of currency that they had of their own currency, they didn't have enough of their currency. Their currency devalued. It turned into this whole mess. Within, when was that article? 2018?
Right.
Yep. Article 2018 talk about rich by 2025. We're talking 4 years.
Ooh.
Within 4 years, inflation and climate change, things that they imposed, World Economic Forum restrictions, environmental initiatives that they proposed and put into action caused this country to declare state of emergency to the point that their leader, the acting leader, he vamoosed out of the country. He left. The prime minister bounced.
Yeah.
He said, you know what?
Grimacing.
Based out of everything that's happening, you guys have at it. I'm out of here. He left on a ship, on a Navy ship. He left Sri Lanka. We're still not there yet. We're still not there yet. Follow me down this rabbit hole. Economy of microtransactions. Let's bring up BMW's newest proposal. Now, this is not in America yet. BMW starts selling heated seat subscriptions for $18 a month. The auto industry is racing towards a future full of microtransactions. Now, some of us have been foreseeing this, where you will own nothing and you will be happy because you're going to rent everything. Imagine paying for heated seats, because it's not like you can turn on the Wi-Fi and then your seat magically creates heat out of it. That's not how it works. Your seat has to have the technology in it.
Yeah.
So you already paid for the technology in the seat.
Right. As an option.
To be heated.
As an option on your
vehicle. You paid for the option on the vehicle.
Sure.
On top of that, they throw in a heated seat subscription for $18 a month. Where we've seen that before, and that's where this Wikipedia thing, which I don't like showing Wikipedia at all, but this is a shout out to Pop Culture Partisans, which is your podcast.
Every Wednesday at 6.
Tell people about Blood Gulch. So it's not just me talking about everything. Go ahead.
So Blood Gulch is a map from Halo. And Halo kind of kickstarted the idea of downloadable content. You know, when you buy a game, you know, you get the package,
right?
But then downloadable content.
Remember those CDs you used to get?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You had to put into the machine.
And, you know, and it puts on the hard drive, and and so it became a thing where, all right, you pay $60 and you got a brand new game. Huzzah! Yay!
Physical game.
Oh yeah, Halo. I want to put it in my system.
Right.
But then, you know, they just released new maps for Halo 3. And that cost you an extra
Shout
$20.
Shout out to all of my fellow Xbox aficionados.
Oh yeah, dude, Halo 3 was my jam.
Halo was the
so good.
LAN parties.
Oh my goodness, yo, bring me back.
Nerd alert! Nerd alert! Continue on. So Blood Gulch.
So
how does this tie into BMW subscription?
So this is
micro.
Halo started this, you know, Blood Gulch, but now the video game industry is overrun with microtransactions.
Right.
You buy a game, you didn't really get the whole game. You got to buy, you know, skins and stuff. And a lot of things are now moving toward the free to play model.
Right.
Like
you get the game for free.
You know, you've heard of Fortnite, right?
I have.
Yes, because it's
I think every parent in the world has.
Yes, because it's the biggest game in the world.
Right.
And do you know how much it costs to play Fortnite?
Free 99.
That's right. It's free.
Right.
So why is it making so much money? It's because you got to buy the little microtransactions. $1 here, $5 there. And that's, you know, and that's the way a lot of things are moving. The most profitable games in the video game industry are free to play.
That's right. And where Blood Gulch came in was that they came with the disc.
Yeah.
They came with Halo. You had the disc in hand,
Oh yeah.
but you had to pay to download it or pay to access it.
Yeah, to
And
get
that
the extra stuff.
You
Absolutely.
had to pay $20 to access a
Day one
multiplayer game.
DLC.
Right. So we've had this. I mean, when did this come out? Does it say when this came out? This had to be 2000. I was
So
in the
first Halo was
military.
2001, but I think
Yeah, it'd be 2003, 2004, something like
I
that.
was gonna say Halo 2, I think is the one that really started this, and
Right.
that was 2003 through 2004.
Yeah, exactly. So what happened was, or what's happening now, and they've said it, was that you will own nothing and you will be happy. You won't pay. You think you won't pay for things, but you will end up still paying for the entire thing. Blood Gulch, you had the game disc and you had downloadable maps, 2 discs in one package, but you had to put the disc in and then you had to pay to download the freaking map. BMW, you purchased the vehicle with the heated seats. It was capable of heating. Yet you have to pay a subscription to access what you already paid for. So, another daily conspiracy theory that is obviously not a conspiracy theory is you will own nothing. You will own nothing. Whether you'll be happy or not, I don't know. But they say you're going to be happy. And it seems like a lot of folks who download, free games, they don't own the game. These kids seem happy.
Yeah,
playing it.
Dude, if that had been a thing when I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
I would have had a blast.
Right. You download everything.
Oh my goodness, it would have been awesome. Because growing up, it was you get like 2 games one on your birthday, and then you get another one on Christmas. And those were your games for the year.
Not Arbor Day?
Nope.
You didn't got Arbor Day gift? Man.
Maybe like Easter or something. I don't know. Like
yeah, that's a good game.
Yeah.
So you will own nothing. And will you be happy? I don't know. I guess we'll find out, because it's going down the road of microtransactions. That's what's going to happen. And not only that, they are going to give digital dollars. This is my conspiracy theory. They're going to give you digital dollars with the expectations that they're going to have full access to your account, which we've seen that governments can have full access to your account. And if you don't spend it in a way that they deem appropriately, they can freeze your account. Remember this podcast. I've given you so many things, and that's why we're the greatest podcast in the world. We're going to get on to the next thing here. There are signs of fighting back against nonsense. We're going to try and end it soon. I promised you 1 hour. I said we're finally going to have a podcast of just 1 hour, because I don't have Lavelle going on some tangent. I don't have freaking Dan from the streets over here getting him all riled up.
Look, you sent me like 30 pictures. I was like, there's no way he's spending under 2 minutes per picture.
Yeah. We're going to get into Biden's approval numbers. Biden's approval numbers. There has been some talk that Jose Pio praises Donald Trump. I don't understand that. I've gone after that man many times. I've mocked him so many damn times. But I give credit where credit's due. I always do. I've done it for Adam Bello. I've done it for Lovely Warren. I've done it for people I don't particularly like, but they've done good things. I'm not saying either one of those I don't particularly like. I'm just saying that I'm a man of
absolutely
integrity. If I say that, or if I see that you did something proper, or I see that you did something right, and I don't like you, that doesn't prevent me from saying, man, good job. Or, hey, that was awesome, man. Good job. Or her, whatever it may be. Biden, on the other hand, I don't like Joe Biden. I never have. I said from the beginning, this man's been in politics for 46 years. What the hell has he done that hasn't been negative towards people of color, or hasn't produced anything for this country that is positive? Nothing. Not a damn thing. Dude gets voted anyways. And now he has like amnesia, or he's going through mental stuff. I wish well for him, but someone needs to stop him from talking. And his wife, because his wife doesn't know how to speak Spanish. Cise Padway.
Hey, she the other day told me that all the Latinx were like unique little breakfast
tacos.
Yeah.
Yes. All the Latinxes are breakfast tacos. And go to Bogotas.
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 If you don't know about this stuff, please follow us on Instagram. Politically correcting, that's the handle on Instagram. A lot of the stuff I already put out there. It's kind of like getting you ready for the podcast. But this first article says most Democrats don't want Biden in 2024. Most Democrats. It's not just most Democrats. Let's break it down even further. 2/3 of Democrats don't want Biden in 2024. So when I say that, hey, I may not have voted for Trump or may not have liked him at all, his personality or anything like that, but my wallet was a lot thicker. My savings were a lot more plentiful under President Trump than it was for Biden. That's not praising Donald Trump. I'm comparing a freaking blob of a president to another blob of a president. Honestly, the guy is just physically disgusting. Both of them kind of. But we're talking about two. I may not like one personally, but I definitely don't like one politically. Most Democrats don't want Biden in 24, which means that 2/3 of Democrats agree with me. That's what that means. 2/3 of Democrats agree with me that Biden is a terrible, terrible president. So when you sit there and come at me and say that I praise Donald Trump, I promise you, I would never praise that man. I'll never praise that man. Congratulations for being president. I will honor the title. Like I try to honor it with President Joe Biden. As you've seen many times when I say Biden and I go back and say, oh, I'm sorry, President Joe Biden. I do honor the title. But this man is making a mockery of our country in ways that are way worse than President Trump. President Trump was a terrible speaker. He was a terrible orator. He was bad with his words, but so am I. So am I. But most Democrats believe the way I believe, with that President Biden is a terrible president. The second article gives it any further. Young people really, really don't want Biden to run in 2024. That's putting it lightly, because if you read underneath it, a new poll shows a jaw-dropping 94% of voters aged 18 to 29 want a different Democratic nominee. 94% of voters between the 18 and 29 don't want the guy that I've been saying all along, do not vote for this man because he's terrible freaking, he's done nothing.
Yeah, he'll be fine. People between the ages of 18 to 29 don't vote anyway.
That's actually more true than it really is. That's showing the signs that we are fighting against the nonsense. You can't completely go after Democrats with Joe Biden. All right, because we're sitting here saying we don't want the man to run again in 2024. I would be surprised if he makes it through this presidency without Kamala Harris. I'm sorry, Vice President Kamala Harris taking over.
Oh, she's still around? What's she been up to?
I thought last time I saw she was at the border.
Was she?
No. But on the other hand, Biden snaps at reporter. This is New York Post saying this. President Biden snaps at reporter, insists that Dems want me to run in 2024. No, we don't.
I mean, like 26% of Dems.
I guess if you say it like that, that's,
he didn't say all Dems.
You are correct. See, man, you're very good at reading between the lines.
Yeah. There are Dems who want him to run in 2024.
You're absolutely right.
See, he didn't even lie.
He did not lie. That's you should be a politician.
Exactly. Yeah.
You'd make a better one than me. I guarantee that. Let's end it on some positive news here, because I hate to end it on a negative news. Bring up the movie theater locally here in Rochester that I want to go to. So if anyone wants to make a double date out of this or something, let's do this. It is
I'm totally in. As soon as I find the article. Come on. I had it. There it is.
Local movie theater. Scroll it down a little bit. I can't see it. Thank you. Dinner and cocktails brought to your seat. What moviegoers can expect at Rochester's only dine-in movie theater. It is about freaking time. We were talking about this before the podcast, that we both have been to different places in different countries or not countries, just in different cities, that you can go to the movies and you can have a drink. You can go to the movies and you can have some food, like actual food, which I really appreciate IMAX having Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
It's not a bad price for it.
No,
either.
I know. It's like it's nice. Honestly, like It's more reasonable than the popcorn.
Hell yeah, I take the pizza all day.
Oh my
Kidding me?
goodness, the
Fuck popcorn.
Oh, well, I rest in peace, Pittsford. They used to put real butter on the popcorn. That was worth it.
What was the movie theater that they gave you all the different choices of the salt that you could put on it?
Oh yeah, does Tinseltown do that?
Was that Tinseltown or was that? I don't know.
I don't remember.
If anyone remembers
exactly
what it was,
what you're talking about. I can picture them.
You can say, oh, they're like, oh, would you like to put a flavor to it?
Yeah,
like, yeah. Can I get the jalapeno cheddar?
Yeah.
But curtains went up on Rock Cinema. This is the reimagined cinema theater at 957 South Clinton Avenue. Since then, the area's first and only dine-in movie venue. The area's first and only dine-in movie venue, transformed by a $140,000 makeover, has added movie programming. They put first run movies there. These aren't second run movies.
Oh yeah,
they actually do first run movies. They do throwback movies though as well. I think they're on Tuesdays. Okay. But they introduce a summer cocktail menu and is considering new food options. So if anyone wants to go there before I get there, let me know how it is. Let me know what food items are good to choose from.
You know, I'll probably head there.
Yeah, I would love to go there. I want to support this. And I really, to all my followers up there and all those who listen to, I should say our followers out there, go there. 957 South Clinton Avenue. It's cinema theater. It's a reimagined cinema theater. It's called Rock Cinema. I want to see more of this. So let's go there. Let's spend some money, take a date, and have some fun there. That's all. I want to end it on a good note there. Anything else you want to add to that?
No. I hadn't heard about this place, so I'm actually
right. So good thing I brought it up, right?
Yeah.
Thank you to Democratic Chronicle. I think that brought that up. Let's go through the comments and questions there. Make sure I've hit everybody. I want to make sure you guys understand that I am a big fan of yours. So thank you so much for always being here for us. FDWEF. That's what I just saw first right there from Let's Go Brandon. Absolutely. Keep going. Oh, Apostle Hochul. Oh God, don't. That woman should not have been in the church at all. I already saw Jen Nardone's comments. Shout out to Jen Nardone. Nope. Wait, hold on. Oh, did I miss any from there? Let's keep going. Agreed. Whole fact. Yes. Practicing medicine without license is illegal. Yes. All right. So we saw all those. Don't buy a BMW. Yeah. Well, I likely won't. I don't think I will. I'm a Jeep Wrangler guy. Everyone needs to pay attention to what's happening there. Yes, Jennifer Tillman. If you see what's happening in Sri Lanka, if you don't think that's going to happen in America with our green initiatives, I don't know what to tell you. The proof is in the pudding. I hate that there's so many people who believe in communism and socialism, and then you bring up facts about show me where it's worked, where it hasn't been a government that killed their own citizens. Like we're seeing what's happening in Sri Lanka. We're seeing exactly what happens when you go down this Green New Deal mindset of destroying natural gas and not giving people the option and just doing it immediately out of nowhere. I shouldn't say out of nowhere, but doing it like just cut it off right then and there. That's not how we need to do it. All right. If we want to convert to reusable energy, I'm with it. But I'm a big fan of nuclear energy as well. Nuclear energy can kick ass. If we can harness the energy of nuclear and the sun in ways that are, not as expensive as what it is right now, we can live in a much better world. There was one more comment at the bottom. I didn't see there. I saw that part. I didn't see the total bottom there. Maybe they can stop laundering money through Ukraine. Yeah. An official government doctor diagnosed me as feeling okay. Therefore, I feel okay. Good job, Kevin. I appreciate you guys being here. And if you didn't see, Kanye West is actually talking about building a vehicle made out of foam.
What?
So let's get Kanye West on the podcast to talk about his foam vehicle. And John Leguizamo, I'm still trying to get a hold of you, brother. Come see me. Come talk on the podcast. Awesome. I appreciate you being on here with me as always. And
of course,
being my wingman tonight. And I appreciate our fans out there. You guys are amazing. And we are actually talking about doing more of the in-person type events because last week was dope. We had white people, black people, Latinos. It was a good time. We had a very good time. Awesome place that we went to, Noonan's Bar. Shout out to Noonan's Bar. It's my local watering hole there. It's fantastic. It was a great time to see people in person and to see people who usually interact online, but were able to get out there in person. And we had a good conversations had by all. And it was just a plethora of different backgrounds. It was so dope. It was so cool. So I appreciate you guys so much. I love you all. And Austin, hit that funky music.